Congressman Michael McCaul, Republican of Texas, House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman, Homeland Security Committee member. A lot of responsibilities there. Congressman, thank you very much for being with us. You heard Senator Chuck Schumer say that this is an unserious effort by Republicans. They see it as political. What do you say to him?
Well, look, I was a federal prosecutor, public integrity section, that worked on the China investigation, money coming in from China to shell corporations to the Clinton campaign to influence policy. This is nothing new on behalf of foreign governments. I think this is very serious. You have $24 million as part of the Hunter Biden enterprise. And at first, some of this was income. They weren't paying taxes. Now they're saying it's loans. But the fact of the matter is, Martha, the reason why we're doing an inquiry and had a vote on it is because the White House counsel said they would not cooperate with our oversight investigation until we had a formal official vote on the House floor. So we took the White House counsel's advice, we had a vote, and we got the majority. And now we're going to proceed. That gives our subpoenas, congressional subpoenas, more authorities in the courts if challenged by the Biden administration, which we know they will.
Yeah. You know, so when you hear Democrats say, look, there's nothing that links anything to the president of the United States here. Given your background as an investigator, prosecutor, tell me a little bit about what you think does draw a connection between these two things. And, you know, just keep that hat on, right? When you look at the actual evidence that links it to President Biden, what do you see that you think makes this road worth going down?
Well, the thing that, for me, in my prior position, raises a big flag is that the president, now president, then vice president, said there's a firewall between his office and the Hunter Biden businesses, the shell corporations. Now we have found in the 7-count indictment in California for tax evasion against Hunter Biden that the pseudonym texts and emails from then Vice President Joe Biden were going to the accountant and business manager for Hunter Biden's shell corporations. This is extremely important, and it was cited by the Department of Justice in their indictment in California. This tells me that and they will not turn these emails and texts over to the Congress. This is what we want to know, is what conversations were made. We're not prejudging the matter. We want all the facts and evidence to come in, but we can't do that until we do what the White House counsel asked us to do, and that was to have an official inquiry vote on the matter.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the Obama administration had concerns that Hunter Biden was going with his dad on these trips to China and Ukraine, and that he was seeking business deals at the same time. There's evidence that they were not happy about any of this, and that they wanted it to stop, but that because he had just lost his son, Beau, they decided not to ruffle feathers on it. And we also know there were all of these, over 150 suspicious activity reports that banks filed. They're not, you know, we're going to assume for the purposes here that they're not politically motivated in, you know, going through things and saying, this doesn't smell right, 150 times in terms of these transactions into all these shell companies. So that's what put up the red flags here. But yesterday, Hunter Biden came to Capitol Hill, sort of. He came to the sidewalk, and he held his own press, news sort of opening statement, is what I called it yesterday, of his case. And he walked away from, snubbed the congressional subpoena that he was given just hours before he was supposed to appear. So Republicans were not happy about that. Oversight Chair Comer already prepping a contempt charge for him. Congressman Chip Roy didn't hold back when I spoke with him yesterday about it. Watch this.
Hunter Biden is basically an ongoing domino fall of stupid decisions and stupid statements, saying his dad wasn't involved in financial dealings. We'll see if that's true, but that is a big tell to me. We all know that his dad was involved in enriching Hunter. We all know that foreign entities were sending millions of dollars to them. We've been having to do all of the work the Department of Justice refuses to do.
Yeah, I mean, the question remains, what was he getting paid to do? And then there's another email that says that he was paid for introductions. In that speech yesterday, which was unexpected, they thought he was going to show up and answer questions. He tore into Republicans, Chairman, and he said that they were taking the light of his dad's love and presenting it as darkness. the White House and President Biden himself not exactly open to questions about any of this. Watch.
The president was certainly familiar with what his son was going to say. They are proud of him continuing to rebuild his life. They are proud of their son.
Is the president okay with his son defying a congressional subpoena?
I'm just not going to get into specifics on that.
Mr. President, should your son have defied the subpoena?
Did you watch?
Well, these are the questions that the president has dodged for years, since the campaign back in 2020. The New York Post cover this morning, with its sort of classic New York Post style, has this headline: Mr. Grift goes to Washington. Congressman, what's going to happen to Hunter Biden now?
Well, I think he's in deep trouble. Not only the gun charge in D.C., but the 7 counts of tax evasion now against him are very serious. That's why, for those who say this is a political exercise, no, it's very serious. Why didn't the special counsel at that time, why did he give him a sweetheart deal? Why didn't he charge him with the 7 tax evasion charges? We know there's enough predication to open up a special counsel investigation into this. So I don't understand why this is so, they think this is so politicized. I guess the backdrop of Congress, but we have an Article 1 constitutional responsibility here, 150 suspicious activity reports. The bank examiner said, hey, this is income, you're not reporting this,
right,
and you're not paying taxes. So the classic thing I saw in my tenure was, when you have income and you don't report it, there's a reason why, because the income is coming from illegal proceeds and you don't want to report it for tax purposes. That's why they've gone back to saying, oh no, wait, this is a loan repayment. And remember the 40 or 400,000 coming from the Chinese energy company, and then the big guy gets cut a check for 10%, which is what they said, for $40,000. What is that all about? I think we have the right to know this. And what about these fake pseudonym texts and emails from Joe Biden?
Yeah, that's another weird thing.
To the accountant for the shell companies.
I mean, it's one thing if you want to hide your identity on an email when you're a very famous person. It's another when you're specifically doing it hundreds of times to the person who's the business manager alongside your son, who you're claiming you don't have any connection to or knowledge of their businesses. Chairman McCaul, always good to have you. Thank you very much, sir. Good to see you.
Thanks, Martha. Thank you.